I'm James McIntosh, the Aga brand ambassador, and I'm here today in Divertimenti in Marylebone High Street with Mao Cooper. Mao, so what are we going to do? You're from the Netherlands. What are we going to cook today?
Today, James, we're going to cook a typically Dutch apple cake.
Dutch apple cake.
Dutch apple cake.
And tell me, what are the flavours like in the cake?
Oh, apple.
Apple.
As you might suspect, yes. But it's a typically Dutch taste.
Okay.
The ingredients are sort of what the Dutch use for their cake baking. So as you can see on the table, all very straightforward.
Okay.
And very tasty.
Well, we'll give it a go. To make the Dutch apple cake, it takes two parts. So there's the pastry and the filling.
That's right, yes. The pastry needs to be prepared first because it needs to rest.
Okay.
For about half an hour.
Well, we'll do that. We've got some plain flour, caster sugar, unsalted butter, a little bit of salt, and then one beaten egg.
For the filling, we have apples. We have some brown sugar. These are currants and raisins, and they're soaking.
Okay, just in water?
Just in water, but of course if you want to make things a bit more lively, you can soak them in rum.
Okay.
And that needs about an hour, and then they need to be drained well before you use.
So there's no moisture when we cook with them?
That's partly why the rusks are there to soak up the extra moisture.
So what are these? Are these typically Dutch ingredients?
Yes, these are, well, they're called Dutch rusk.
Okay.
We call them beschuit, if you're interested.
Biscuits.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
a very common thing in Holland. So we use that to put on the base of the pie to soak up the
moisture from the, right. And is that cinnamon?
There we have some cinnamon, and it's mixed with whatever that's mixed with.
It's vanilla sugar.
It's vanilla sugar. That's
So we've got some homemade vanilla sugar,
Yep.
and then we're glazing it with an egg.
with an egg, yeah.
Okay, so we need to make the pastry. So Maya, what do I need to do? We have the flour that we've sieved.
What you do next is mix the pieces of butter and quickly work to get it through the flour so that it becomes quite a crumbly mix.
Oh, just like making short crust pastry?
Yes, short crust pastry.
So we've finished rubbing it in, is that right?
Yes, it's quite nice crumbly as
Good.
you have it there. So now you can add the rest of the ingredients.
Okay, so we just mix the sugar through?
The sugar through, pinch of salt.
Add in the salt.
Yeah.
Right, there we go.
And then lastly the egg. And that should all make
One ball of pastry.
a nice dough. Yeah.
Okay. So into the fridge now for a few minutes?
Yeah, about half an hour should do it.
Okay, just until it rests, so it rolls
It
easier.
rests and it's nice and cool, and then you're able to roll it out properly.
Okay, we'll give it a go.
Okay, now you've taken it out of the fridge, James. Can you make that first into a better ball, I think? And then we divide the pastry into a third and 2/3.
Okay, so let's make it into a log, that's easier.
Yeah. The 2/3 are going to be used to line the tin, and the smaller part we're going to make into strips.
So roll it into a big circle.
Big circle, big enough to line the base and the sides.
So right up there.
Right up.
That's a lot of pastry.
Yes, that's as far as really it will stretch.
Okay. So we've got the pastry all lined. So what do we do next? Do we just add the apple in?
So what we want to do next, James, is to put a nice lining on the bottom of the cake in order to take on any moisture that might have been left
From the fruit?
From the fruit. So you can use custard or you can use biscuits, but we're going to use 2 of these.
Right, the rusks.
Yep. And we just rub them together like that until they're reasonably small. And then we're going to put it on the base of
Okay.
the cake.
So all over.
Yep. Just
Try and get it quite even.
Yep.
Okay, there's some at the back.
And then next we have to combine all the rest of the ingredients. So we are mixing the sugars and adding apple
and raisins.
Raisins
so
and currants.
we've got the demerara, the brown sugar. Yep.
Yes.
We need the vanilla sugar.
Yep.
That was. See, I made this at home. It's just caster sugar and vanilla pods. Have a smell.
Oh, that's delicious.
I know. It's great with rhubarb and custard.
Just one.
No, just one. Take the bit of vanilla pod out. Break that up a bit.
The currants, the apples.
Okay.
And very important, the cinnamon, of course, because that really defines the whole flavour of the cake.
Okay, mix that through. Add in the apples. That smells good.
Yes. So there is a lot of variety possible. You could add nuts at this stage, or whatever is a family favourite.
Right, and then into
and we just fill it.
Pastry on top of the rusk. Okay, that's nice and full.
Right, so all we
Like
need
that?
now is to put the top on. Oh, they're lovely.
Just like pasta. Okay, so we made the lattice, so all we need to do is weave it on top?
Yeah, you start with horizontal strips, nicely paced, and leave enough pastry to weave through.
So now that we've glazed it, Mayo, we just pop it into the agar. For how long?
That's all that's left. Pop it in the agar for about 45 minutes.
In a 2-oven agar, you need to use the roasting oven because it doesn't have a dedicated baking oven. And what you would do is set the grid shelf on the 4th set of runners, place the cake on top with the cold plain shelf on top to stop any excess browning. On a 3, 4 and 5 oven agar, we have a dedicated baking oven. On the 4 and 5 oven agar, it's this oven here. On the 3 oven agar and the agar total control, we're going to pop it straight onto the grid shelf on the 4th set of runners in the baking oven, which is located here. We'll come back to that in about 45 minutes. Well, it should be done now, so let's have a look. We'll take it out of the baking oven. Oh, it's nice and golden on top.
Beautiful.
So how do we test it? Do we just stick a knife in and make sure the apples... Oh, beautiful. So we need to leave it to cool.
Leave it to cool because that ensures that the cake will come out.
And the pastry won't collapse.
That's right.
And then we'll try it.
Can't wait.
So now the cake's cooled. It smells fantastic.
Doesn't it just?
Doesn't it? So let's put it on a plate. Take up the spring form. Oh,
Wow.
that's a lovely crispy outside.
Feels homemade, doesn't it?
What's the idea? Okay. Should we have a slice?
Wow.
Dig in.
Looks good. I think we did a good job there.
Does that taste like home?
Yes. It's really nice.
Well, there we go. Dutch food in the agar. Thank you, Meryl.